So just as we start the recording for the new podcast, Darcy's having fun in the background, starts laughing. That's her intro.
Yeah.
So yes, everyone on the YouTube, welcome to our next podcast. I feel like Donald Trump does that a lot, doesn't he?
Hey, yeah. We don't need to talk about that guy. That's
the hands. I just felt like
was your impersonation.
But so yeah, we've got big news, haven't we?
Yes.
It's been Grace has hit her 2-year milestone.
Yes.
And you're feeling pretty good about it, aren't you?
Yes, we are so excited. I'm giving the thumbs up because this is another milestone that, we would have never imagined to reach. So.
It's crazy, isn't it? When you're sitting there and you hit the first year, you have that wow, like, and then to hit the second year, it's just even more like,
yep.
I don't know.
I still remember when Darcy was going to turn 1, and we didn't even want to talk about it. Like, we wouldn't even say it for like weeks. We would just say, yeah, that day is coming. That day is coming. Like
that day that
yep.
we shan't speak of.
Yes. It was a nameless day, but we all knew what it was. And as Grace approached her first year, we did the same thing.
Yeah.
You're so excited, but then you're like, I don't want to, jinx it.
Yeah, it's very, because early on, I remember, like, we were talking about that, weren't we, in the first years, that it's very easy to start thinking that life just generally has it in for you, isn't it? Like,
yep.
Every time you have some sort of optimism or you look forward to something, it seems to just bring you straight back to reality, to here and now, and you kind of avoid talking about things that you should be looking forward to, don't you?
Yep. I think it's the same with any type of like milestone or goal you're trying to reach. You want to talk about it out loud, but then you're like, oh, but if I say something, I've just, said that's going to start like this rolling ball of, potentially bad luck.
It's a bit like, I guess it's a bit like, I can't think of the words. When you sort of just have these sort of thoughts and you think they're going to come true, like if you what's the word? Like superstition,
like foreshadowing.
Yeah, a bit like superstition as well. Like I don't know, not walking over 3 drains or something like that. That's one here in England.
Exactly. Yeah.
The same sort of thing. It's a weird sort of mindset it gets you into, but
it is. Well, so in meeting this milestone of reaching 2, we also were meeting another milestone, which was being hospital free of like a major illness,
really?
like emergency. Yeah. So, Grace had a couple inpatient procedures, which we elected. So we didn't count those because that was our choice. But like emergency, like overnight stay or anything like that, it's been over a year. And I didn't want to talk about that either because I'm like, oh, if I start talking about that, she's going to get sick or something's going to happen. And
well, that's how I felt when Darcy stopped doing her breath holds.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh God, I can't. Still now on Instagram and that, I can't use the tag that I've seen before, like Trisomy survivors or Trisomy 13 survivors, because I feel, I don't know, I just it's too optimistic, it's
yeah.
And yeah, I was the same when she stopped doing the breath holds and that. I haven't mentioned it for ages. I mean, this is at the start of lockdown. I think I only mentioned it on the YouTube channel.
Yep.
A couple of videos ago.
Yep, that's right.
I just kind of had it in my head that the second I say, "Oh, she stopped doing this," she'll start doing it again or something, and
right.
It's that sort of thing, isn't it? But
yeah, it's almost like anticipatory, and I think I've seen another one of our other trisomy moms talk about it a lot. Is this anticipatory grief that you know are already expecting some of that. So I think that's why we don't really talk about it.
Yeah, you get in that mindset of constantly expecting something to go wrong, don't you? Just all the time. I think. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say the last year though, after reaching 1, I really did feel a lot of that like anxiety and some of that worry kind of go away. And this year to me was a lot easier to handle. And realizing, I've got to remember to try to stay in the happier moments and positive moments and let that stuff go. But I mean, it's hard to ignore.
I mean, we still have that now. Actually, with me and Rebecca, we're quite different. I've sort of got myself through things by focusing on positives, and also by a big thing for me and dealing with it myself is trying to help other people deal with it. That's how I think that's how I kind of, I don't know, sort of take it out of my mind a bit, is by going so into the Instagram and YouTube and that, and just trying to make that difference. Whereas Beck's quite different. She's done that sort of, she withdrew a lot from everything and sort of went into those sort of negative thoughts about constant something going wrong all the time. And I've really seen, big differences in how this sort of life affects us and the other people I've spoken to as well. It's very, it's not the greatest, is it, for us? Like, so Beck's over here just pulling faces at me.
She's like, how dare you? How dare you? But you know what? It is true. Like I've gone through a lot of that too. Or there'll be some times where I'll have moments and weeks of like a trigger of something, that stirs me. And it's like, whoa, I didn't even know that would be a trigger for me. And you have to learn how to deal with it. And I think that's one of the hardest parts is like that mental part. It is very tough. But then, when you're working through it, you realize I can handle it. We can get through it.
Yeah, it's that not knowing, and also I think the biggest thing is obviously that thought of it ending somewhere. That's the biggest thing that we all have to face daily. But I also found, I think with Darcy, that kind of made me realise that none of my children are guaranteed to be here tomorrow, and that I should really make the most of everyone. Make the most of every day as well. I think Darcy's taught me that I used to just take a lot for granted, and just expect that everything will be here tomorrow and everything will be okay. And so there's something I think in some ways I'm quite thankful for some of this sort of the things that she's woke me up to, really, in life.
I agree.
I appreciate it more.
Yeah, I think, and reaching those milestones too, you appreciate more, but then you also realize the possibilities of like what can happen, and how every single child that continues to reach a new age, 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's more to prove to doctors and the medical world that there are survivors, and there are plenty that will reach different goals, and they all deserve that opportunity.
I think given the right help, early on, I think a lot of them, I've seen a lot that could make it or could have been here longer. I've seen a lot that have come and gone. Sorry, I'm just looking at Darcy. Just wobbling around over there. I've seen a lot that have come and gone that could have really sort of led a better life as well, with more intervention and parents who have kind of just accepted what the doctors have said, that there's no choice, no this, no that.
Right.
I think it's important that our children that are doing okay out there. We really need to show that, yeah, there is an alternative. You know, it's not just all doom and gloom, and it is worth putting the effort into the children, like with operations and things if they're needed, because the life they live is, you know, they're just, I don't know, I've always said this to Beck, it's almost like they're the bit that's broken in their brain is the happiness, and it's constantly turned on, just they're just always happy.
Yeah.
And
It's true.
that's worth it.
It is so true. It's like they don't know anything but love, and they don't show anything but love, you know, of course, unless they're, you know, a little grumpy from maybe some teething or, you know, normal.
It's just like a pure innocence, isn't it? It's a pure sort of, it's really nice to see. You know, it definitely brings me a daily joy with Darcy and how she is, you know, that little smiling face.
Oh, I agree. Like, Grace will start smiling and laughing for whatever reason, like either we're like dancing or singing or reading to her, I don't know. And it just, seriously, it is like the best medicine ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I will go running over to see her laugh and smile because it makes me so happy, and it makes our family so happy, and Chris gets so happy, and Grandma gets so happy. And yeah, I mean, it's just like pure joy all the time. And it's like, who wouldn't want that?
With Darcy laughing, we still have a bit of an issue. Like, she laughs, like she's had in her life, when I explained in another video, you know, when she's been poorly or something, she's had, I don't know, a handful of seizures on a couple of separate occasions. And one of them was started with her laughing. So since then, now she's getting a bit older and she just laughs because she wants to.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, something wrong.
Okay, yeah, the traumatization from that was definitely real. I mean, yeah, I would understand.
Even her laughing can be scary sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think you know, those few occasions, they were linked to illness, and not just random occurrences. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, Grace is just angry. She's just angry. You just know it. I mean, she's just upset, you know, crying or whatever. There's no, she's definitely happy is happy and mad is mad for her. But I will say, what's really interesting is as Grace has gotten older, you know, and it took her a while to finally smile and show all these emotions more. But there's times where we start laughing first, and then she starts laughing. Like she
really?
a joke or whatever's happening, or she, you know, knows that we have this tone of laugh, and she just starts cracking up. And then we start laughing because she's laughing. It's just, it's amazing.
I think the older they get, the more you start to see that they do actually have an understanding of certain things around them, which is something that the doctors kind of make out they'd never sort of have. They kind of make out that they have no, you know, no thought, no sort of normality in life.
Right.
And I think as they get older, you do totally notice that they are with it. They are, you know, thinking about the things around them and interacting. And I mean, Darcy, just the other day, it's probably the first time ever actually she looked like she looked straight at me and actually saw me rather than looking through me or around me. And it's little things like that I notice she's progressing, but it's just really, really slowly, like really slowly. She's probably about 6 months old now in reality, you know, rather than 2 years. But,
right. Agreed. And, you know, of course, like you have to acknowledge that it's definitely not going to be, their learning is not the pace of a normal child. But Grace has been doing this imitation with us, and we've been doing it for a while, but she's actually like getting the hang of it. We'll do like this noise, this, and then she'll do the same thing. It took her a while to make the noise to figure out how to do it, but sometimes she'll wake up out of her sleep and she's just instantly like this. She'll go, and then she'll be, She just started going it down.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's like quite a good thing, isn't it? I mean, as far as things like speech and that go, that's having recognition of their mouth and the control of it. That's quite a good sort of sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, we don't expect our children to just suddenly start speaking or anything, but just having that, maybe, we still hold on to the hope that one day Darcy will say something or a
Right.
word,
Right.
just mum or something, or dad. That'd be fine.
Yeah, you'll take what you'll take either. Yeah, I think that's one thing that I found interesting with some of like the medical community is like the notion that us parents will think like, oh, our children are more capable. I'm not saying that they're not more capable, excuse me, but that we don't have the reality of what our children are, where they're at, and I feel like I think a lot of us really do, though. We do understand that they are definitely not at a developmental age as any normal child, but doesn't mean that they can't learn or meet other milestones. It'll just be a lot slower.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how did how did you expect? I mean, I don't know what to say because you've already said, like, obviously, with us, I'm just going back to the 2-year thing. The I say thing, massive milestone. But at the times you did think about it, did you ever sort of think Grace would be doing certain things if this milestone happened? Did you expect? Is Grace how you expected she would be at the moment? Or?
When I would say when she was a little bit younger, yes. About 8-9 months going to a year, I definitely had these expectations that I was hoping for, as far as like progress. But then when she hit a year and she wasn't there, and I realized, I was like, she's gonna do her own thing. I gotta just let that go. And once I finally did, let go of all of that, I feel like I just enjoy even more of wherever she's reaching. We've had a lot of like different issues at home, not urgent issues, but a lot of stuff that have prevented us from maybe doing tummy time with her because of her GI and her gut.
Yeah.
So we're not doing some things that we should be, but at the same time, like we'll make up for it in other ways.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, I know what you mean with that. Tummy time and stuff. There'll be something that can get in the way, or like Darcy does the same. She might be a bit refluxy, and we'll think, oh well, we can't put her down because she'll just get even worse. And you can't always be on it all the time. But no, we had similar things with Darcy. When she was born, we thought, oh, she'll crawl, she'll walk. We'll get her to do this, get her to do that, and you slowly sort of like just, I don't know, sort of accept they're different, don't you, as they go along, and sort of you have to forget about these normal sort of milestones that people put in place, like, oh, by this age I should do that, by this age I should do that.
Right.
I think once you put that aside, it's kind of a lot easier, and you just get on with life, don't you? More than
and I've realized for Grace being happy, when she's at her happiest is when we listen to her and we listen to her cues, like her body language, her facial expressions, and we really just use that to guide us because and maybe that has helped us to stay out of the hospital or to keep her really healthy, is that we push her, but we don't push her to the far extreme, because I know myself is I'm extremely competitive by nature, and I like to really kind of push the limits a little bit, but I know I can't really, I don't want to do that with her. I would never want to put her to where it's gonna then harm her in any sort of way. So we just listen to her and let her do her thing, and it's been great. She's happy, and I mean,
I get what you mean. We do the same sort of thing now. We just look for her cues more. than we used to. Before it was more about us going, oh right, we need to get her doing this, we need to get her doing that.
Right.
But now it's just like, you know, we just do what we can as we can, and she leads the rest of the way.
Yep.
She's just coughing over here.
And I feel like,
oh, go on.
I would say I feel like it actually helps them more, you know, in the long run, because like for Grace, for a while, it took us some time for us to get her off the vent for a couple hours when she was sprinting, where she's, you know, doing 100% breathing on her own with no assistance. I mean, and once we got her going, I mean, man, she just took off. I mean, so now we're, you know, up to several hours off the vent, waiting.
What does that do then? What do you mean when you say vent? Is it oxygen put straight in or something? Or
so yeah, she's actually not on oxygen during the day. The vent just gives her that pressure through the tubing that you see that's connected to the trach, which is in this area. So that tubing provides that extra pressure from the vent to help open up her airway. And so what we've noticed is as she's gotten older, you know, when we sprint her, we take that off and we turn off the vent. And so she's just breathing on her own through her trach airway. And yeah, we're up to several hours a day, and we take her through and let her do her thing. So
I'm just being, you know, we haven't had to deal with the track and that. So I've got loads of questions about that. But so when you say the vent, I think with children like Elijah in Japan, you see like a lot of equipment under the buggy and stuff like that. Is that the vent itself? Is that the equipment for that? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to do like a whole episode, and I can just like show
we should,
all the different equipment that comes with it.
Yeah, we should, because I don't really understand the whole what's going on there. I know that I mean, I know that there's a lot of the children are born with sort of floppy airways, aren't they?
Right. Yeah.
And I believe that's the main reason, isn't it, for the track, isn't it?
Most likely, yeah. There's some type of floppy airway obstructive type apnea or obstruction in general. So that helps to stabilize and or if they need a vent to help with pressure as well. So it's all different. Each kid is different.
I'm learning stuff here as well. It's great. These
I know.
videos are teaching me.
It's just like when you were talking about Darcy and the different seizures she has. I mean, I never would have known. Like, I'm like, so we're always learning from each other. Always.
The other thing we wanted to talk about was the height, was size of the children.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
A lot of them seem to be quite small for forever, really, I think, don't they?
Yes.
I mean, Darcy is, I think, for a 2-year-old, she's very diddy. And I think Grace is quite small as well, isn't she?
She is. She's actually thinned out a lot more. Like her length is really taking off. Like she's definitely grown longer.
Yeah.
She still has about the same amount of weight on her. And then, but I've noticed that her like chunky rolls are going away.
Yeah, Darcy.
Chunky rolls.
Darcy's suddenly getting these. We just noticed recently that she's got like these nice long legs out of nowhere. We're like, oh, where did these long legs come from? You know, and she's suddenly getting sort of taller. I mean,
here's my question for you: is what size are Darcy's feet?
Oh, I don't know. We've never sort of measured her feet properly because of the extra digits. I've got a pair of shoes. They're big. They're too big for her, but we got them bigger, so there wasn't any sort of issue.
Yeah.
You know, just with the extra digit. If I can spot her back.
I swear, like trisomy kids have the smallest feet. Grace still can wear sometimes the 3 to 6 month shoe, and that will still be too big for her.
Well, I know with Darcy's clothing and that, I think she's still in, is it 12-month-old? 9 to 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Getting her onesie, she's going to go up to 12 to 18 months.
So yeah, 12 to 18 months she's going to go up to, because her legs are getting longer for like
Right.
woodsy things. But yeah, I don't know if is her bag here. Hold on 1 second. Oh. This bag. So she's got a pair of shoes, but they are sort of massively too big for her. These are her little Air Force Ones.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
But these ones are so in the UK they're 3.5, which is US 4C.
Okay, yeah.
But
Children.
her foot only comes to about here, probably. Like,
Yeah.
I can show you. Hold on, I'll show you. Let me get Darcy. Hey, you. Hello. Let's show them on the camera. Your little feet. Let me see if I can get her into a position where you can see.
Yeah.
Oh, you're real dribbly, aren't you?
What are you doing? It's like lift me higher.
So here's one of her feet. You can see the extra. Hey, can you hold that up a second? Like just there. I'm just going to put her foot against it. Look.
Oh yeah, she's got the tiny feet.
So in your size 4C, about an inch smaller.
Yeah. Well, I tried to buy Grace some shoes for her birthday, and I bought like way too big of a size. I'm obviously still learning kids' shoe sizes, so.
I don't know, like, why do you, is there a reason? Have you read of any reason why our children seem to be really tiny? I've seen.
I have no idea.
Sometimes it happens during the pregnancy, doesn't it? That's one of the telltale signs that they start sort of trailing off on the size.
That's what happened to her.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with Darcy. That's one of the things they sort of picked up on, was that she was sort of just going sort of off the graph a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They said that there'd be a chance that she could have, what is it, dwarfism? Yeah, because they didn't know she had trisomy 13 at the time.
Right.
So they were throwing all these things at us.
I would say it was about, I think, about halfway through the pregnancy when Grace kind of started to slow down a little bit. She was doing really well for many, many weeks. And then as we got closer to that, then you're very distracting, Darcy. I can't think.
She is, isn't she?
You're just so cute. See, that's that happiness.
What are you doing?
That's the happiness that we all love. Yeah. It is.
She's gone really wonky.
She keeps going wonky in her eyes. She can see though.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing it has to do something with the chromosomes and why they grow so slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just small people, aren't they? They're just very, what are you doing? But it gives us sort of issues with everything. Like her special chair, or, I mean, it works fine. Her chair's fine, but her feet never touch the foot bit, or like with her bath chair, you know, she's always just that little bit short, or they slide out of things, or you know, just like these little tiny people. But yeah, she's doing the same, as in like she's losing all her rolls as well, and a little, you know, she's just really slim now. Not unhealthy or anything, just
Yeah, she's still following the growth chart now.
Yeah, she's still putting on weight and following the growth chart, but she's just a bit different.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
we established that they're a bit different.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, and I think we've been working on part of Grace's physical therapy is for her to do from sit to stand. So we have her sit, and then we lift her up, and then we have her, you know, bear weight on her feet. And I'm always thinking, like, are her feet, you know, gonna hinder her from being able to stand, because she's so top heavy with her upper area.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine Darcy standing easily. Her feet actually look quite sort of quite deformed. They're quite, you know, they're not like ours. Like a little bit twisted. And you can feel it on the bone. You can feel the bones are slightly not in the right place, kind of.
Right.
So I don't know how that would feel to sort of stand on, whether it cause her discomfort or not. She's trying, when we hold her, she's trying every now and then to sort of put weight on her legs now, which is something that she didn't really do before.
Right.
What are you doing? She's grinding her teeth. But she does this. This is her rest pose.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. No grinding your teeth, Darcy. You got to stop that. Grace has stopped that. You know that.
Gonna have a look at the phone.
Right.
Hello.
You are just so cute. I just might eat you up. You know what it is about kids. Just might eat them. Just might eat you.
Hello. Hello. So yeah, well, you can see her. Look, a little belly. There's no fat, no nothing. She's just a healthy little girl.
Yeah.
I'm not saying fat. I'm not saying having some fat is unhealthy. I just mean like she's, you know, lost all her rolls and that, and
she's a toddler. That's what we have now. We have.
Well, that's what I mean. She's suddenly just become a little girl rather than a little chunky baby. But yeah, I don't know. You're just growing at your own pace, aren't you?
Yeah.
There's actually a name for the pregnancy thing, isn't it? Growth. Something growth restriction. I can't think of the name.
Something like that. Yeah, I never knew the actual term.
Hold on. Let me take Darcy back. Keep disappearing on our videos.
Hello. Hello, Jen.
Here you go. I have a device. We will have a look. It's. I think it's this word I'm missing. Restriction. Fetal growth restriction, is that it? Intrauterine.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, intrauterine. Intrauterine growth restriction.
IUGR. There you go. IUGR.
Yeah, that's something that our children do suffer from, isn't it? In
Mm-hmm.
the womb whilst they're growing.
Yep.
I don't know whether I'm doing some research now whilst we're doing our video. So, I don't know. I keep getting time limits on the phone because I've picked up my son's phone where we've got screen time on it, and I'm not going to sit here keep putting in the password and giving myself more time. But yeah, they suffer from that during the pregnancy,
Yep.
don't they? And then I think it just carries on because of the chromosomal difference that our
Yep.
children are quite diddy. I mean, I've seen some that there's a few, isn't there, here and there that have sort of made it into late teens, 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and even then, they seem really small, quite
Mm-hmm.
small, and look young. I mean, the older ones I've seen still look 10 years or so younger than they actually are.
Yep.
I think it's, they really are like Peter Pan children. It's just a permanent state of being a child, I think.
Yeah.
We did at one point just start calling Darcy our forever baby because that's we just thought, right, she's going to be like this forever. That's it. She's just going to be a baby.
Pretty much. Well, even so, like, I'll see some of the children who I think have like great growth and good weight, and then I'll see them next to their parent. The parent will hold them, and I'm like, they're still tiny. Like, especially for their age, whatever that age that they are. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been deceived this whole entire time. Because I'm over here thinking like, oh, they're huge, that's great. They've had great growth. And then I'm like, oh no, they're still tiny.
Yeah, it's on Instagram and that, isn't it? You'll see pictures of them and you'll build this idea in your head of what they sort of look like and how big they are.
Right.
And then like you say, you see them with a parent and suddenly you're like, they're tiny.
Yeah.
I've done that quite a few times actually. And always when I'm looking, I always think other children look bigger, or other children look like they're doing better, or other children look like I think that's part of social media where you start sort of that comparison thing all the time.
Yes. Yes.
Which can't actually, that's not always a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes you make sort of false expectations for your children as well.
Yeah.
And,
yes. It's hard.
I think I know when we first found out about the Trisomy 13, Rebecca was definitely sort of making a lot of comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. She was always looking at other people's children and being like, oh, they can do this, they can do that. Darcy can't do this, Darcy can't do that. And it's quite a negative thing actually. It's very sort of
yes. That's why I'm so bad at social media, because I will be really good. I'll post, and then I will fall off. Something happens, or I'll get into that kind of same negative rhythm where I'm like, oh, this person's doing this, oh, this person's doing that, or and then you have to reel yourself back in and say, oh yeah, don't forget, your child's just different. Your child has their own path.
Yeah, definitely. I can't remember what I was about to say. Totally gone. I felt like I had a valid point, but now I just I don't.
That's called parenthood brain. I think it doesn't matter whether you have a child with trisomy or not. That's just your brain just.
I was going to say though, we were going to try and get a guest on today, weren't we?
Yes.
And I've been speaking to a few different people, so we might be able to get someone on next time to come and talk. I know Sonia at Soft UK is interested in coming and saying hi, and we've got some parents in that. Elijah's mum as well.
Awesome.
But we're having a bit of a time difference issue, because I think about now-ish what's the time now? So it's probably about midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning there now.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. Let me ask Siri. What time is it in Japan?
It's 2:17 in Tokyo, Japan.
So just 20 past 2 nearly in the morning now. So that's we're trying to work out that and how that would be doable. Because of your timing as well as my timing. It's like the three ends of the globe, really. 3 ends? 2 ends of the globe and the middle.
Well, maybe I'll just call in and I won't have any video, and then that way I don't have to. I can still be in my pajamas.
We'll work something out. We'll definitely work something out.
We'll make it happen.
And saying about that, actually, I saw Elijah's dad made quite a good video about Trisomy 13 that I was watching. I could leave it in the link below. I'll leave it in the description below for anyone that wants to actually go and see it and that. But yeah, I was searching through on the off chance. Sometimes on YouTube, I do have a look at Trisomy 13 and see what people are posting. You usually get a lot of old videos, years old. But yeah, I noticed a new one. I thought, oh, I recognise that child. That's Lili. And I went and watched it, and it's quite a good video.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It's nice to see other parents sort of, getting out there and doing stuff a bit more and helping raise awareness and things. You've got some parents as well, haven't you, that were interested in coming to talk?
Yep, I've got a few. I definitely know a few that would like to. So
we'll try and get someone on for next week if you want to sort of,
yeah.
I don't know, talk your end and see who can make the times that we do.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. Because I think there's probably a few people watching this who'd like to sort of hear other experiences and stuff. So definitely on the next podcast. I call these podcasts, but podcasts are actually an audio thing. So I'm a bit like, well, I don't know if podcast has the same meaning these days. But
we're rule breakers, so we don't follow the rules.
Yeah,
we'll just
talk. This is a Trisomy world. We just do what we want.
Exactly. We don't listen to doctors and all that. We're like, yeah, we're just gonna see what our kids do. So leave us alone.
We want this to be a podcast. It can be a podcast. Like Beck said, it could be a vlog or a vlog.
There you go.
But yeah, so definitely, I think next week we'll definitely make that a guest one, and we might have to change to Zoom to do that.
Yeah,
which I think works. But yeah, I think we've sort of had a good chat about things today and about what we wanted to sort of talk about. Nothing too in depth, because I think the highlight of the week has been Grace's 2nd birthday.
Yay!
Is amazing, and happy birthday to Grace, and
may
the force be with her.
Always.
I saw the brilliant pictures from the Star Wars theme. You like sort of nerding out over there, don't you?
Oh yeah, this is a house full of nerds, so any type of nerd theme, and we had to celebrate a little differently this year, so obnoxious lawn decorations is the way we went.
It definitely looked good.
Thank you.
Did you have many people sort of stopping and saying hi or something? We
did. We had some family, that were like, let's do a drive-by. And I'm like, social distancing and mask, please, because you can look but don't touch.
Yeah. No, it looked really good. And actually, saying about the nerd thing, me and Becca just started rewatching Battlestar Galactica.
Look at that.
It's amazing. But Beck hasn't seen it, so I was like, you've got to watch this. So
never seen it? Oh my gosh.
Nah, she hasn't seen it. She's liking it so far. I think it's amazing. I love Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, it's really good.
This nerd, our sort of nerd stuff's quite good, isn't it, for Trisomy 13 world, because our brains need a rest from time to time.
Yep.
Yeah. But any parents out there watching, watch Battlestar Galactica or Star Wars or something. Just give your brain a rest now and then.
Yeah, it's good to pick up something to be a little bit of a distraction, because you need some normalcy, and you need that in your life. So
go play Pokemon or something for a while.
yes.
You used to be a big fan of that as well, didn't you?
Yeah, when we could get out a little bit more. That first year was crazy with Grace at home. We were just all over the place, and now we have more of a routine. So who knows? Maybe we'll get back into it. I don't even know what generation they're on. Gen 4? Gen 5?
I've lost track. I've had the same. I've lost track. But
So,
it's definitely something that can get you outside and get fresh air and stuff. And that's good. So I think we should probably just leave this video here. And, like I say, it's been quite a light sort of conversational video. Next week, we can go into the meeting other parents and
hear their story.
Just talk more. We're just going to talk the Trisomy world till they're fed up of us, aren't we?
That's right.
And then we're going to talk some more.
Exactly. Always talking.
We're going to talk till everyone knows what Trisomy 13 is.
That's
And
how you
18,
do it.
actually. And 18. They need us as well.
Yeah, 13 and 18. Those are our friends. So
Yeah. Not that 21 isn't, but 21 has quite good publicity. So we're kind of...
We're trying to get to the 21 level. That's our goal.
Yeah, we want to be the 21. We want to get up there.
That's our goal. They're our inspiration. So
Yeah. That's where we want to be.
Exactly. 13 and 18. And 9. 9 is pretty rare too.
I've seen that mentioned a few times, actually.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many beyond 21, 13 and 18. There's not many that are actually survivable, is there, really? It's chromosomes can cause a lot of problems, can't they? And some of them really aren't survivable. Some of them aren't.
So different.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're
but I
talking
have seen
chromosomes, so
I have seen 9 mentioned quite a few times, so that's something I need to look more into as well, because nine's one that I'm not too clued up on at all.
Yep.
So we'll have a look, and then maybe it's something we can cover in another podcast. Maybe we can get a parent of 9 child.
I'm sure they're out there.
Do you know one? Do you know a parent with?
I do not, but you know what? I bet you our group knows one.
We'll find one. We will find one and say hi. But yeah, I'm going to leave this video here. Stop this one, and hopefully I don't hang up on you this time, because last time I stopped the video I just hung up on you, didn't I?
Oh, good.
So people of YouTube, farewell. I'm doing the hands again, aren't I?
Thank you.
See you next week.
See you next week, guys.
And yes, happy birthday to Grace.
Thank you.